Welcome to another episode of Chix Radio, where we trim the junk but keep the real. We are your hosts, Miss Melissa and Rose, and we'll be live with you for the next hour. Hi, everyone. Here.
All right. Go ahead and explain to them what Chix is and what we're going to be doing.
Okay, so Chix is just something that we came up to for us to come together, just discuss different topics without being judged or look at sideways. You know how you can say something and it gets blown out of proportion. But at Chix, you can cuss, you can cry, you can rant, you can get hype without judgment. It's a judgment-free zone. It's kind of like a safe place where we can share ideas, exchange thoughts, provide guidance, provide just a leaders for CEOs, anyone is welcome to Trim Chicks. So we're so excited that everyone decided to join us this morning, and we have a great show for you.
So although our show won't be focused on just entrepreneurship, but leadership and whatever the industry is, whatever your field is, Rose and I are both entrepreneurs. So I figured we'd start today by just telling a little bit about our background. Rose, why don't you tell us what made you go into entrepreneurship, everything from that.
Been the entrepreneur on the side even when I had a full-time job, whether it was real estate or just my event planning business, but I took it seriously back in 2010 or 11. I was working for a hospital and they did a hospital-wide layoff. And so just going back and forth through looking for jobs and, going through that stress and doing different interviews, I'm like, I have something, I have a gift. Let me see and what I can do to expound on that gift. And here we are today, just weddings,
events and fundraising and sponsorship for the shelter in order to raise money that could be used however we saw the need. And then it also became our balance. When you work in an atmosphere like a homeless shelter, it can weigh on you emotionally. So I wanted to do events that, kind of lift the spirits and let's do a festival, let's do a concert, let's do a party to kind of balance it out. So that's how it started. And actually, a year and a half, launching my, we joked around about this when we were talking about saying up for the show. Part of Church is showing the real behind certain situations. I didn't feel like an entrepreneur. There's no more sick days. There's no more vacation days that are being paid for. Let's go.
Yep.
And
if you don't work, you don't eat.
Exactly. Yeah, many a days where there is no food in the house.
Yeah.
But so I've been self-employed for going in 10 years now. I still own that marketing firm. I still own the event firm. I also have opened a bakery and I'm launching a few other projects right now based in DC. But I do love that I get to work nationwide. So I am enjoying it. But the reason Rose and I started this show was because we have other budding entrepreneurs coming to us all the time, like just so bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, excited, like, yeah, give me tips, I'm ready to start. And my first tip is like, don't do it. Like, you don't want this life, it's hard, it's this and that. But if someone can convince you not to do something, then you shouldn't be doing it. But if I sit down and I talk with somebody and I'm like, this may not be the way and this is the hardship, and you're still excited about doing it, then go for it by all means.
When you take that approach, do you think that people might feel like, oh, she just don't want me to break into the industry? Why is she telling me don't do it? Why is she giving me all the negatives? How do you feel about that?
Um, that is one of the things that I have that most other small business owners actually we aren't trying to keep people out of the industry. Once we get to working and you meet somebody that's even semi-successful in their industry, they will tell you that there's more than enough to eat. And then actually having some others in the industry help people work together. So I don't get a lot of the negative. And those people that end up going into business, when we sit down and we talk a few months later, we're laughing and they're like, I get it, you warned me, but I'm here now, so I might as well just figure this out, you know? So I don't really get the negative vibes from it. Do you?
No, I don't. I have encountered one or two that's just, don't share, don't want to, show you the ropes. So I made a lot of mistakes in the beginning, but I mean, I'm here. Like you said, I'm here. I survived. I figured it out. I had to learn on my own and get it done. So, that it
Yeah,
all worked out. It all worked out.
you just said something that, and this is how the show is going to go. Me and Rose are going to share our thoughts, but of course we want to hear from you guys as well. So if anybody has any questions, comments, want to jump in on the discussion, the number to call in is 646-200-4053. That's our number here at the station. You can call us up and be sure to press number 1 on your keypad to join the conversation, and then we'll bring you in. But with that said, Rose and I were talking, and you just said it. When you first started out, there were people who didn't want to share information, didn't want to tell you things, and then there's a big difference in sharing information and someone picking your brain and taking your information that you use and your knowledge and your expertise. That's your livelihood. That's how we make our money. You know. So, how do you tell someone who's starting a business what's appropriate or what's the etiquette for sitting down with you and talking and truly networking, or them trying to get a free consult? Like, what's their giveaway like? Nah, sis, you're trying not to pay, or you're trying to get this free info that I've worked hard for. Or is there a difference for you?
In my opinion, there is a slight difference, but there's a very thin line. And I say that because I am the type that when I ask questions, I'm very thorough. Like I ask a lot of questions. I want to learn. I'm still going to do it regardless, but if you could help me along the way, it would be great. And if there's anything that I know that I have, any knowledge that I have, we can exchange it. Because I feel like everyone has a knowledge where you can exchange it. And I think a lot of people look at someone and automatically makes the judgment like, she can't help me. She don't know nothing, or she doesn't have a degree, or she didn't even go to business school, or she didn't go to event planning school. She doesn't have a certificate, and I think that that's very dangerous to do because you push away or you walk away from someone that potentially has knowledge that can impart on you. But on the other hand, too, you have these people that are takers, 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 takers. They suck the living life out of you, and they have nothing to give you back. So I think in every situation, you just have to kind of gauge it and see, how where it's going. I think between 10 to 15 minutes and you can kind of gauge the situation and see, okay, is this going to be something that I will walk away with some type of knowledge, or am I simply divulging and emptying out myself only?
And I don't think it's something I have to gauge. I think it's up to the person who's asking for the meeting to be honest. If you want to network with me and you call me up and say, hey, let's meet, let's network, let's see how we can partner up, then be prepared to bring something to the table. I
Well,
hate it when someone
that's
calls.
in the perfect world, Melissa. Like, come on,
Right.
everyone's,
So when they say let's network and they sit down and say, so what do you do? What do you do? What do you think about this? This, and that? We're not networking. And if you don't have that, that's okay. Just say to me, hey, I'm looking for a business mentor, or I want to talk over some things, or I want your advice, or I want your. Then I'm going in there with the mindset of this is a person starting out, and let me help them. But when you come in there and you're giving me the mindset that we're about to partner and work together, and you're bringing nothing to the table, I feel duped. I feel like there's a bait split, and I'm annoyed. Come on, Rose.
I know,
Right?
I feel you. I feel you.
Right, right. So, we we are going to go to a commercial break. In the meantime, if you want to call in and comment on that, you can reach us at 646-200-4053. Again, that's 646-200-4053. And remember to press 1 on your keypad. We're going to go to a commercial break, and we'll be back in a few.
A new program launched here in the District of Columbia encourages landlords to rent to homeless people.
Hi, everyone.
So during this part of the show, we call it the real behind the scenes. Rose, give us a little bit what this is going to be about.
Okay, so behind the scenes is a lot of people. I'm tired of working for my employer. I want to break into my own business. I want to do my own business, yada, 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 yada. But do you really know what it takes to be an entrepreneur? Do you understand that being an entrepreneur, you work 10 times more than if you were to have an employer dropping that direct deposit every 2 weeks, every week, every month, whatever the case may be? Because like we said earlier in the segment, if you don't work, you don't eat. And this means that you have to work whether you have the flu, whether your kid is sick, whether someone close to you passed away, your car broke down. Because at the end of the day, people don't want to hear an excuse, especially if your product is a service-based product, meaning you do event planning, or you do the bakery or real estate, or imagine if you have a client that's like they're super excited to go see a house showing, and your car breaks down. Yeah, they empathize with you, but at the end of the day, it's like, oh, I still want to see my house. I'm excited. Like, and a lot of us are guilty of it. You have tunnel vision. When you have something in your head that you want to do, you set out to do, it's a goal that you want to reach. It's tunnel vision. You're trying to get it by any means necessary. So a lot of the times, being an entrepreneur, having your own business, you will feel underappreciated. You will feel angry sometimes. You will feel like no one empathizes with you. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. You chose this path. You have to deal with it. So are you ready to take that on? Do you need affirmation? Because in the beginning, especially, even people that you feel like or you thought would be in your corner would help you along the way or encourage you along the way, they're looking like, yeah, I give her about 3 months. You know, how do you feel about that? Are you prepared to deal with that backlash and deal with the hurt and deal with, making so many mistakes, your name being tarnished? It's so much that comes behind the scenes, but some people always walk away with the final product, which is so beautifully packaged with the pretty red bow and the sparkly wrapping paper, but they don't understand the process took that went into presenting that product or delivering that service. And a lot of people, they try to, you know, go back and forth with you about your prices, and you're looking like, man, am I worth it? Or will you go into so and so store, like a major store, and do that and ask them to bring down the price? I'm not saying you can't negotiate, but you got to respect people's time, people's craft, people's livelihood, because that's what it is.
Absolutely. And the part about how, like, you got to get up and go, we were laughing because last week we did our test show to start Trim Tips. We're still testing. That's why forgive us for the fumbling and some of the mistakes or whatnot. So we had the appointments with the engineer, our radio mentor. Shout out to Talk to PJ show. He's the one that's guiding us through this. And we were not there. Like, Rose was going through a loss that literally happened that morning. And I was dealing with a whole bunch of business drama and things that I didn't want to deal with. And our energy level was at a zero. And then we have to come in here for the first time and pretend like we're hyped about a radio show. And we couldn't fake that funk at all. But at least I could. And when we were working with the engineers and they were like, okay, practice run and go. Like, it was like showtime. Rose immediately went into mode, started talking, laughing, getting us through it, and that's what part of that was that jolt that I needed that day, to be like, we are having a rough time going on, but we still got to get to work. It's a little bit different when you're a small business owner because you don't have the corporation behind you to pull from and say, I just can't do it today. I'm going to need so-and-so to be my backup, especially in a small business when you're already doing 2 or 3 different roles as it is.
Yeah.
Now,
and there's no bereavement.
See differently. Oh, go ahead.
I'm saying that there's no bereavement. There's no, if you don't go to work today, you still get a paycheck. That doesn't happen. At least not when you're starting off or when you're still on a smaller scale, a small production. Now, when you make it, hey, you made it. But in the building process, no, it's none of that.
Right. And me and Rose, we are just alike in a lot of ways, but we do have different views on certain things. I think Rose is married, has a husband that's a great cheerleader, who I'm like, oh, you have that inside support system. You have that person who's like, let me help you. Let me roll up my sleeves and do this, this, and this. Mm-hmm. Single Melissa? Yeah, I come home and I look at my dog like, you're going to have to motivate me to get up tomorrow because I'm just not there. Yeah. But there is a flip side to that I didn't realize until we had talked the other day. Go ahead, Rose. What's the flip side of that in-house support, that push?
Well, on the flip side too, it puts pressure on your significant other, your husband, whatever, to sometimes they might have had a rough day at work and they have to be there, helping you pick up the pieces. So it's kind of like they have 2 jobs, Or sometimes if they want to tell you, okay, well, this is what you did wrong. But I don't feel like hearing that right now. You just give me a second and then I'll listen. But right now, I'm just so pissed and I'm still processing what happened that I don't feel like hearing what I did wrong or, I don't want to do that. So that could be a good thing, that could be a bad thing. I'm not saying that I don't want constructive criticism, but sometimes, your significant, if it's like a friend or a colleague, they know when to kind of back off, but your significant other kind of has no boundaries really. So it's like, hey, you wanted to do this, you just gonna have to listen. And sometimes I don't want to do
Okay.
that. I don't want to do that.
So not talking about the skill set, not talking about the business, but just the behind the scenes, that personality and stuff. Do you agree with going into business with friends or family?
See, that is a tough one for me, simply because Bell Events is a family-based event planning business. And I am telling you, my cousins, my sisters, my husband, even getting off from his job, I have, like, I'll get these great ideas like last quarter. You know what? I can build this stage and I can do this. And he's like, all right, I'll go to Home Depot. So for me, I really can't complain
But see,
about, I can't complain about family.
what you just said, my question though, could you go into business with them? Could you start from ground one and partner with a friend or family? What you just said is you started their business and then you bring them on as like staff or help or support.
No. They were here from ground one, because when I said I was gonna start it, I'm like, okay, you'll do this aspect, you'll do this aspect, you'll do this aspect. So they started from ground one. That's family. Now I don't have any experience with friends, because I've always, based on, like, when we were in college, Melissa and I are the coolest friends. We've been friends for a long time. But you know what? I'm smart enough to not be her roommate. I won't be her roommate. I won't live with her, because we both go through our little moods. We both, sometimes we get over emotional or whatever. So it's the same concept. I made that mistake by moving in with one of my very good friends from college. And 4 months later, we had to move out. Like, look, this is not gonna work. I wanted the friendship more than I wanted a roommate or help with paying the rent. Like, and that was my first experience moving off campus. So that was stressful. But we bit that bullet because it wasn't working out. So I take that same concept and apply it to business. I'm not saying that I'm against it, but there has to be some clear parameters drawn.
I can turn a business associate into a friend. I don't think I could bring a friend into a business situation. I've tried it, failed for me. So, like, if somebody says, do you believe in friends and family partnering and what? Hell no, absolutely not. Walk away, run away. I'm not going to lie, I'm not ashamed to say it. I fired my mama. I started my marketing firm.
Not mama.
Building up clients.
Hey, mama, if you're listening, I did not back that decision at all.
It was one of those situations where I had my first little office suite. He was coming in as the receptionist. He was coming in as this and that. And it worked for like a month. And then, yeah, mama didn't work out. It's a running joke from us. She was like, you need to tell people you fired your mama so anybody can get it.
Yeah.
I recently went into a partnership with the bakery with friends. I now am the sole owner of the bakery because I think what it is when you're friends or family, you respect not getting in certain business. And me and Rose and I, we've known each other for 20 years, almost. And as close as we are, I would never ask you about something personal like your finances. But getting into business with somebody is like a marriage. That's a relationship. I need to know how you are with money. I need to know what debts you have. I need to know this and that. And I think when you have a friend who's always been respectful of those boundaries, make the mistake that I did where I just assumed they knew this, and that. Or I assumed they would tell me this, and that. And so then when it didn't happen, you know, I'm stuck looking like, how did you not know this is how you balance this book? Or how did you not know how to do this, and that?
And that's why I said parameters have to be drawn before.
But that's the thing, when you're friends or family, you already have those parameters. So for 20 years, me and you have a certain boundary. If you and I decided to open up a concert hall together, we have whole new boundaries that we have to establish that we're not used to. It's just awkward, I don't know. I just say stay away from it. Stay away from friends and family. That's my opinion from being burned.
And see, that's why I love the show, because I share a different sentiment, especially with my own experience. I've had great experience with family. Like I said, the friend aspect, I didn't do that. I've never done that before, just because of, that fear of, man, I think I value our friendship more than if things go bad and because I've had people close to me that were friends that went into business together and ended up in court suing each other. And I'm like, whoa, you guys were best friends, like besties for years before you decided to start this business. And whoa, so I've always like, yeah, I don't know about that. I am open to it. And like I said, I'm the type I sometimes I gotta go through it to make that conclusion too. So I don't know.
Well, that will be the behind the scenes for us, because this is Rose and our first time doing a venture together. And although we were creating the podcast, during the podcast, we created it for the purpose of like venting and wanting to help and guide, but because we're both entrepreneurs, it's going in a business direction. And we're trying to develop that. We're going to have great times showing y'all how we're developing this and which direction we're going to take it. And we're going to see the ups and downs. If there is one person I could probably try to do this journey with again without being too gun-shy, it would be her. Only because she already had a session.
Yeah.
So,
because Melissa come with her little shenanigans. I'm the chill one. She's the hype. Okay, let's bring it down.
You can have all my class.
Bring it down.
If you have any comments to what we said, you can direct messages on our social media, the Sunset, on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, or you can call. Okay, you can call us in at 646-200-4053. That's all we have today for our live show. We are going to do a pre-recorded show that we will be uploading to our thing, and we will be reaching out to Miss Virginia, who's on the line with Gainesville Black Professionals. So hold tight, and we will be back in a little.
Back to the Trim Chix Radio. We are your hosts, Melissa and Rose, and this next segment is about spotlighting small businesses. And today we have a special guest with us, Miss Virginia from Gainesville Black Professionals. Miss Virginia, are you on the line with us?
Actually, our engineers are working on getting her back in.
Okay.
So give us a few seconds.
Okay, so
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. So the reason why we want to do this is sometimes, as small business owners, we don't get enough exposure, spotlight, or even people don't patronize us as much. Patronize meaning being our customers and things like that. So we just decided to insert this as part of our show, because we're fellow Black small business owners, and we just want to uplift and encourage the community to know what's in your local business. And our first business that we spotlighted is we chose from Gainesville, and because that's where Melissa and I met. So
Go Gators.
yay, at University of Florida. So we wanted to bring it back to where it all started. So we started with Gainesville Black Professionals, and we have the executive director, Ms. Virginia. She'll be joining us in a few.
Well, I think she's here now. Virginia, are you there? I'm here. Can you hear me? Yes, we can.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining us. We're excited to have you. The best way to explain everything is you're the best one to talk about it. So tell us about what you're doing in Gainesville.
Well, first of all, ladies, let me say thank you for having us on today, and thank you for what you're doing. Any platform that allows Black professionals and Black business owners to have a voice is excellent, and I'm so glad that you chose to spotlight us, so thank you very much for that. But as far as Gainesville Black Professionals is concerned, we're a young organization, a network of Black professionals, and we just saw that there was still a void in the community as far as connecting Black professionals. And Gainesville is a growing city. There's a lot of diversity here, but if you're not connected, you don't feel that diversity and you don't feel that connection. So we thought the organization, by creating a network of professionals, would help to fill that void.
Absolutely, I completely get that. And like Rose said, being in Gainesville, we knew the need to coming out of college, knowing the right people to get a job, to get our internship, to get our apprenticeship. But what other benefits do you see on two professionals, whether they're just starting out or already kind of excelling in their field, to connect? What are the benefits of it?
Well, I think the benefits are endless. When you bring people together and you allow them to connect where otherwise they may not have even met, the possibilities are completely endless. So I don't even want to say what the benefits are because they're so endless. I think that people can come up with things that I haven't even thought of yet, that they'll create in their own conversations and their own connections.
Absolutely. So what's making it hard? Is it a Gainesville thing, or do you think it's like anywhere? What makes it hard for not only professionals, but specifically Black professionals to kind of network or find that sweet spot to come together and share ideas and share commonalities? What's the obstacle to it?
Well, I think it's different in every community. I think that in Gainesville, because we are still a young community, there's a lot of professionals here, but we typically tend to go to work, go home, go to work, go home, and there's no social outlet for us. And a lot of times, not having that social outlet to bring us together doesn't allow us to connect on that personal basis. And then, in personal relationships where we're able to develop that trust is where we begin to do business with one another. It's that trust factor.
Yeah.
So definitely just not being able to have access to one another on a day-to-day basis is one of the obstacles for Gainesville. And Gainesville is so spread out. So that's one of our obstacles here. And then I think in other communities, it's just different for every community.
Thank you. I agree completely. Like, it can't be all work. There's got to be some play in there. So tell us about that you have coming up. We're excited to hear about it. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so this Saturday, October 14th, we're having our second annual Movers and Shakers Gala. The Movers and Shakers Gala is an opportunity for professionals and business owners to come out, get dressed up, have dinner, drinks, dancing, live entertainment. But the underlying premise network to bring business owners and professionals together so that we're talking about businesses, we're sharing resources, talking about opportunities. So not only is it a place to have fun, get dressed up, be beautiful, but also to connect on a professional level.
That's awesome.
How do they reach out to you if they want more information about your organization, about the gala, tickets? What's the best way to reach you?
Okay, it's so easy to reach us. We have a website, GainesvilleBlackProfessionals.com, and by telephone at 352-208-4894.
Okay, could you repeat that information one more time? Because we did have a couple that just popped in and asked for it to be repeated.
Oh, okay, yep. GainesvilleBlackProfessionals.com, all connected, GainesvilleBlackProfessionals.com, or the number is 352-208-4894. That's 352-208-4894. And we also have a Facebook page that they can like and an Instagram at GBP Inc.
Awesome. And this is your second annual, right? The second year doing it?
Yeah, so this is our second gala. We did our first one last year, the same time of year, and this is our second one. So we're a young organization. This is like not even 2 years old yet. So we're real excited about the response that we've gotten, the love, the reception that we've gotten from the community. We definitely realize that there is a need for this in our community, and we're humbled to be able to be a part of making it happen.
Is there something that you're doing this year that you didn't do last year, something new and exciting at the gala?
Yeah, so we have a lot of new things at the gala this year. First, we're going to have a red carpet that's going to be live, meaning that we have two beautiful hosts that will be interviewing professionals and business owners. So if you want to spotlight or showcase your business, that's the perfect time to get out. We're going to give a clip to the business owners so that they can market themselves on social media outlets or wherever they want to market themselves. And we are also recognizing and announcing the winner of the Men of Vision and Purpose Award. We have 8 finalists this year, all wonderful men of our community that are doing great things in our community, business owners, professionals, and we're recognizing them that night and then also announcing the winner of that award. So the gala has already grown, so I can't wait to see what happens next year, but at least let's get through this year first.
Understood. Well, that sounds awesome. Rose, you there?
I'm still here. And it sounds like it's going to be a wonderful event. Good luck to you. Thank you for bringing that to Gainesville. And I'm sure it's going to be awesome.
Awesome. And thank you, ladies, again for this opportunity to share what we're doing here in Gainesville. I know that you guys have a listening base because my phone is already ringing. So as soon as we hang up, I'll return those phone calls.
All
That's
right.
awesome. We really appreciate it, and we look forward to hearing how great it is out there. Thank you again for calling in.
Thank
Anybody
you.
has any questions for Virginia at Gainesville Professionals Group, Inc., you heard how to reach her. If you have any questions for us, the number is 646-200-4053.
And we'll be reposting the flyer to the gala on our Instagram and Facebook posts. Just in case if you missed it or you need to get in contact, that flyer will also be on our social media. So I encourage everyone in Gainesville who's listening, go out. It's this Saturday. Have a great time, especially if you have your business that you're trying to spotlight. This is the place to be.
Okay, so we're going to
Thank
you
you
again so much. We're going to go
the clock, trying to keep the If I ever took a loss, I learned a lesson. I won't ever think I'm better than the next man. I've been down before to come up, I ain't stressing. Baby, I'm too busy counting all these blessings. Count it up, count it up, count it up. Line 'em up, line 'em up, line 'em up. Swear the sun shining on me,